You are now listening to the D. Hankins Show. Life, curveballs, home runs, the D. Hankins Show. Are you ready? Let's go.
All right, y'all, welcome to the D. Hankins Show, where we take life, filter it through the 3 buckets so you can hit more home runs. My name is D. Hankins, and we are live at the Boost Conference 2026. I appreciate you all so much. So, obviously very different from me being in the studio. I am here in Palm Springs, California with a group of lovely people who are here to hopefully just learn, and some very close friends of mine in this room. I am super excited to be here with you all today. If you have not experienced me, I keep it real. I keep it 100. I've been doing this. I've been speaking for about 20 years. This is my 20th year, or going on my 21st year as an inspirational speaker. This is the only job I've had since I've been 22, since I graduated high school in 22, college in 22. And it's been a complete journey. Now, I am what we call a knowledge concierge. I love to learn. Google is my best friend. My wife says it is my wife, and my wife is my mistress. So that's how much I'm always on Google. I'm always trying to learn and things like that. I study human behavior and resilience as I do my speaking thing. I've been around countless number of people. And so the lessons I've learned, the experiences I've had have come from the issues that I have with my coaching clients, the issues that have come from students' mouth and have come from your mouth. So I'm not just blowing smoke up your ears, right? And I'm not just talking out of my neck. So today it's all about the potential protocol. And I'm going to give you a little backstory on what that actually means and how I came about this framework, the potential protocol, which is a framework to prevent education burnout. Okay? There's an epidemic right now of educators who are calling it quits. And I know why. All right? Now, before we even kind of dive into that, this is how serious it is. I was at 2, 3, 4 events that had to deal directly with education just this past couple months. And I heard from really great educators that they are willing to leave money on the table and retire early, which is crazy to think about, especially if you live in this country where we're like, we want, we want to like money. It's capitalistic country. We need the dough. And so when I first heard this back in 2022 after the pandemic, I was talking to an educator and, just having lunch at a regular thing like this. And she had mentioned that this was her plan was work 5 more years, to get the maximum benefit of, I can't sit here and tell you guys I know exactly how your retirement stuff goes because I'm not in that space to be, knowledgeable of the inner workings of that. However, she was telling me this plan. Okay, if I work this much, then I get the max this and whatever that meant. All right. She was saying I get the most money possible. I'm willing to leave all that on the table and retire in 2. And I said, why would you do that? Why would you do that? And she gave me this sigh, right? It's just not worth it anymore. It's hard to do what I signed up to do. And so I asked her to explain. She explained her story. And it was funny because I was just at a national nutrition conference in what month are we in? April? March? Was this March or was it early April? I think it was early April, right? And I was talking to a young lady who's been in nutrition for 20-something odd years, right? And she came to me and she said, D, I appreciate what you said. And she was like, I just want to feed kids. I just want to feed kids. And they're making it hard for me to feed kids. And when she said that, like the conversation I had with the teacher years ago kind of popped in my brain and said, man, you have adults who have dedicated their lives to serving children, who have blood, sweat, and tears. Now, I've been long enough to know that. Like, if you're in education, blood, sweat, and tears. You brought work home. You've had arguments over your spouse, with your spouse about work. You know what I'm saying? You've cried over students. You've cried over your job. You've been so frustrated. You banged your, hands against the desk. Like, I've seen that, I've seen teachers and educators. Literally, I was at a middle school in Bakersfield, and I was walking in the morning to do my, student development program. And as I was walking into the office, I saw this, teacher come in. She pulled in her car, just bawling, all the way to her parking spot, just bawling, right? Sat there for a second, wiped, reapplied her makeup, walked out the door, and just walked into a whole nother person. Like, we literally walked into the office together, and I wanted to say, like, hey, I kind of saw you there. Are you okay? I wanted to say that. But she greeted me. Hey, how you doing? Just like that. Like, if she just wasn't, bawling her eyes out 2 seconds ago and I didn't witness it, And she walked into the office. Hey, Pam. Hey, everybody. Like, just like it was a normal day. Now, it just so happened that I was at this school all day. Okay, so we end up leaving at the same time. I end up leaving when the teachers were leaving, just because that's what my program at the time required. And so, she's walking out the door. Goodbye, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. This and that, joking with the front desk about talk about the weekend and things like that. And then I saw her get into her car, and I thought to myself, one, what's going on? All right. 2, how the heck did she do that? All right. Like, how did you do that? Right. And then 3, it's just like, how long does she have left? How long does she have left? And so, like, my mind has started to shift in these last 3 years and saying, hey, D, I think that you could do more with your knowledge and your experience on helping these educators do what their passion is, what their calling is, right? So for you all in the crowd, and I'm going to say this with full confidence, like, there's something wrong with you. Right? Yeah, like you're a little bit off, to be in the education space, to be in the after school program space, to deal with kids that aren't yours on a daily basis. Something's wrong with you, right? Like, there's, there's something's off. So, we're laughing because I was at a foster care education conference, right? And I I compared the educators, the audience, to serial killers, right? And it's like, it's true. You stalk your kids, right? You know everything about them. You know their movement. You got paperwork on all of them, right? So, like, we're psychos, but in the best way, right? In the best way, because there's something in us that says, I'm going to put myself on the front lines. I'm going to put myself in the trenches. And if you have had certain circumstances, Carol, for instance, right, where your funding is demolished and your policies change every day, and what stability do you feel like you have? You always feel like you're in limbo, because any day someone can walk into the office and say, oh, they cut this, they removed this, they stopped this. And so you got to be a little bit off your rocker to wake up and go, here we go again. Right? And I love that, because that's what we need. Now, the reason why this is important is because I grew up in foster care. And I grew up needing teachers to be there for me when I didn't even know I was important, when I didn't even know that the help that I needed was out there. I needed people to stick their necks out for me. I needed people to look past foster care, the foster kid. I needed people to look past the trauma and see something in me. And I'm only here today because of that. And this is why education has been so big for me. This is why it's big for my household. And this is why, until I can't anymore, you will probably always see me in some type of capacity doing this because it has worked. It works. What you're doing works. The tears, the blood, sweat, and tears, it's not for naught. And you might not get that every day. You might not get a student that comes to you and says, yo, thank you for what you did. And so I try to do that on their behalf and tell you all what you do, from the classroom to the after-school program to the nutrition to the foster care, social work, to admin, to superintendent. Everything that you say matters. Everything that you don't say matters. Everything that you do and everything that you don't do matters. Okay? So when I was in foster care, I had this event in elementary school where I blew up. My emotional cup was to the brim. It was probably my 8th home at that time. I was 8 years old. I was in elementary school, and I just had it. I was just done. I was entered what I call the most dangerous place in the world, which is hopelessness. Hopelessness is when human beings are at their most dangerous. And I had it. So I decided the best way to get attention was to act out. And so I did. I put my feet on the desk. The teacher caught me. I kicked my desk. I threw a tantrum in class. So if you've ever experienced those kids, right, throwing chairs, cussing out teachers, that was D. Hankins, okay? We see social media posts, and sometimes I have to catch myself, right, because I'll see social media posts about a kid who threw a chair at a teacher, right, and I'm like, oh, that kid, he needs great, and I go, wait, that was me. You know what I'm saying? That was me, right? But that was me. So the reason why we're doing that is because unchecked emotion manifests into behavior 100% of the time. So kids are highly adaptable. Human beings are highly adaptable, but especially children, okay? So if I know the only way I get attention from the people that I need or love the most, or I need attention from the most, is through this type of behavior, guess what? I'm gonna do it. So it's just like baby. It's no different than toddlers. Right? Oh, if I cry enough, I'm going to get some milk. Same thing, okay? And so that's the only reason how I got noticed, or I felt like I got noticed. So I acted out. And on this particular day, I was really acting out because I was moving from this new foster family that I was in, right? Again, 8th home, so I was just over it. I was done. So I get to my vice principal's office, and I'm hot. Right? I'm doing the whole breathing thing. And, you know how we do, right? And you know how it is, especially if you work with black kids. You know exactly how that works, right? And so I'm hot, and I get to my vice principal's office where I was like every day. I was in trouble every day, and I'm not over-exaggerating, right? In trouble every day, and I just yelled at her. Why don't you send me home? Sitting my, why don't you just send me home? I hate this school, this and that. And I yell at her, why don't you just send me home? My vice principal, she was at her desk, and she was writing. Puts her pen down. Gets up, walks over to me. She gets down to my level. She looks me right into the eyes, and she says, because you have potential. Now, immediately, I stopped crying, and I was just like, man, let me analyze this real quick. Right? I kicked my desk. I'm pretty sure I cut Frank and Jesse in half. I flipped my chair. I cussed out my teacher. I slapped 2 innocent bystanders on the way out. Kicked open the door, flipped everybody off, came in here, yelled at my vice principal, and the only thing this lady has to say is, you have potential? I'm like, lady, I'm 8. What does potential mean? But years afterwards, I was 8. I'm 38. So 30 years later, it hit me. She had a system in place. So let's take it from my principal's perspective, right? My principal was unbothered by my behavior. Didn't blink, didn't flinch. As a matter of fact, she always kept me in her office. Like, she never sent me home, just kept me in her office, okay? Which is probably super illegal right now, but she would leave. I'll be back. She would leave. She would do her meetings in there, like literally, like confidential meetings where parents or, whatever would come in and like parents be looking at me like, oh, who's this kid back here? And she'd be like, oh, don't worry about him. Sit down and do her. She would carry on about her day. You hungry? No, I'm not hungry. Bring me lunch. Right? And I'm sitting there like, no, I'm not going to eat in front of her. As soon as she left, you know what I'm saying? Right? She just carried on about her day. So I was thinking about this, actually a couple years ago is when I shifted my attention from students to adults. Now I still speak to students, but I'm trying to leave that zone and speak to you all, because at the end of the day, it starts here and then it trickles down. So I was thinking about what she did for me, and it actually happened when I was writing my book. Right, I was writing my book, and I was just, I'm writing a book, by the way. I was writing my book, and I was thinking, she did this daily. Every day, she did this. Right? And so when you do something every day, it's called routine. If you do routine long enough, it's called a system. You have a system in place, right? And so as I was writing, I started to think like, she did 3 very amazing things for me that day, okay? And so this is where the potential protocol comes in. And I started thinking about this. Now, remember, I'm not going to give you anything that I haven't researched myself through psychology or, some form of resilience, okay? Now, imagine if you had a kid every single day that was outbursting, cussing you out, fighting his teachers, every single day. And he ended up in your office, in your lap, every single day. I don't know about y'all, but I have kids, right? I have 3 children, and one of the reasons why I'm at Boost Conference by myself is because of that. I got 3 kids, So sometimes it's just a lot. If you're a parent, work, being a wife, being a partner, being a mom, being a CEO, a CEO, entrepreneur, director, yada yada. It's a lot. Okay, so sometimes you just need it. All right. So she constantly had to deal with me and never broke a sweat. And I was thinking about that as I was writing, and I go, okay, what did she do, D? First thing was what? Anybody know? Okay. Physical. What'd she do physically? Got down to my level. So within that framework, right, within that context, she got down to my level. How? How did she do that? Where was she at first? Her desk. So what did she have to do? Get up and do what? Yeah, she had to get up and close the gap. We call that proximity, right? She had to close the gap because it's hard for me or for you to influence or change something that you're afraid to stand next to, something that you're afraid to face, to close the gap with, to enter the zone in. It's hard to influence that, okay? So first thing that she did was proximity. All right. And this is cool. This is awesome because you can use this anywhere. So any of us in relationships? Any guys in relationships? Okay. Damn, only 3 of y'all? Okay, cool. Don't be, I'm ashamed. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you can use this across all categories of life, right? With your children, with your spouses, with your coworkers, especially in this case, with these students that you have to deal with on a daily basis, all right? You close the gap. Now, I want to use, can I use you as an example? Yeah, you. What's your name? Oh, it doesn't. Either one. I was looking at her, but, I'm going to go with her, if that's cool. Go ahead. Sarah. You look familiar. Nah? Okay, I never forget. All right, whatever. Anyway, so Sarah, I'm going to use you as an example, all right? And I can't get up because I'm recording, but you guys will get the gist. Let's say we're walking down over there at the village last night, the village market, right? And I see Sarah, and I go, oh, Sarah's looking good, right? Now, Sarah's across the street, and there's hundreds of people walking back and forth, and I go, yo, you, long brown hair. Yeah, you right there with the purse. How are you going to feel about that? Okay, cool. Now, who gets that? Who gets that? Like, who gets my verbal catcall? Who hears that? Everybody. Everybody. So human brain, even though that is extremely uncomfortable, she's also going to feel what? Embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? Because now I've drawn attention to who? Right? Very different from if I were to close the gap. Let's say I took the time to cross the street, get into Sarah's proximity, right? Excuse me. Wow. I just have to say, you look absolutely phenomenal. Okay? Who gets that? Just her. Right? Now, me approaching some random stranger could still make you uncomfortable, right? But I closed the gap because who am I trying to influence? Sarah. I'm not trying to influence y'all. I'm trying to influence Sarah. So let's take this to the classroom, right? Let's say Carol is acting up. Carol, can you calm down, please? Sit down. Stop. Who gets that? So is Carol focused in on what I'm saying, or is she focusing on the fact that now I embarrassed her because what was meant for her was delivered to everybody else? Now imagine that. Let's bring this into reality, okay? Let's say you're in this restaurant over here and you order a glass of wine. And the waitress comes out and he's walking to your table and he stops at another table and goes, here you go. And somebody goes, oh, this is great. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, this is the house wine. And everybody gets a sip. And then he goes, here you go. How are you going to feel about that? Are you going to drink it? No, you're going to be like, yo, wait. Why would you do that? You know, like I ordered the wine and let's say I'm the waiter and I go, hey, well, people just wanted a sample of the house wine. What would you respond to that? Yeah, why didn't you just give them their own? Why did you have to same concept. Same concept. If I'm yelling at you from behind the desk, what's meant for you, everybody gets a sample. And so your reaction is not that, because the reality is you did get your wine, correct? Yes or no? Yeah, you got your wine, so technically I did my job. But you wanted it exclusively for who? You didn't want everybody else's lips on it. You know what I'm saying? Okay? Same concept when we're dealing with people. You have to learn to close the gap, because this influence or what I'm trying to do is meant for you and not everyone else. How many of us in here have been guilty of that? Yelling from across the room, right? Now, my wife, and this is another reason, my wife, she calls these disagreements. I call them arguments, but she finds solace in her room. She has plants, her books, she finds solace in her room. I typically do like the dishes and things like that. If we're arguing and she's in the bedroom and I'm in the kitchen, what's getting done? Nothing, right? Now, ladies, let's be honest, okay? Now, for those of you watching, it's like 90% ladies in here, okay? So if I'm constantly picking on the women, this is why, okay? Just disclaimer, all right? Now, ladies, let's be honest with ourselves, okay? In an argument, you tend to ask 5 different questions within one question, okay? So while I'm in the kitchen and she's in the room, by the time the first question gets to me and I answer that, she's already 5 questions in. So hopefully the answer from question 1 is not the answer she wants, or, is the one that she wants to hear for question 5. You know what I'm saying? And so what I've learned to do is now I just walk to the room. Now, I don't have to, in an argument, I don't know about y'all, but I'm not like this. Like in an argument, I don't want to be buddy-buddy with you, right? And maybe I need to learn that, but that's just not my, I need things to calm down first and then we can roll. I'm not going to sit next to you and hold your hand through it. It's just not my personality, but I will over time, you know what I'm saying? But I will close the proximity now. So now I can hear what you have to say and you can hear what I have to say. Now, does that mean I'm going to agree with it? No. Does that give me the right to interrupt her? Tell her she's wrong? No. My job there is just to close the proximity so that the information that she has for me goes to me and the information I have for her goes to her. Because if she's in the room and I'm in the kitchen and the kids are in their room, guess who hears the argument? Is it meant for the kids? No. Right? Is the argument between you and your coworkers meant for everybody else? No. Is the issue that you have with your boss or whatever meant for everybody else? No. It's meant for that person. And this is where things get dicey, okay? This is where things get heavy. I'm an advocate for taking full responsibility for your life, meaning less complaining, less excuses. You forgive more, you accept more, you go through your emotional cycle, and you do you. You are in control of bucket number 1, and I call that my choices, and we'll get to the buckets in a second, okay? But these are, like, you only have control over the things that you have control of. I have no control over you, what you say, what you think, how you feel about me. I have zero control, nothing. I only have influence. That's it. And in order for me to influence you all to do what I would like you to do, okay, then I need to master my own choices. I need to be able to model the behavior, right? So we have people right now that cannot close the proximity. And when you don't close the proximity, you're leaking energy. This is why burnout happens, right? So right now we are, and I'm guilty of this too sometimes, right? Right now we are, we're in a weird climate, right? Just governmentally, just life in general. We're in this weird climate, okay? So people think that they can create change with 4-paragraph Instagram posts. You can't. One, because you're writing to a bunch of people that have no proximity to where the problem is. So you're just wasting energy. Now we call it venting, right? Which is fine, okay? However, what gets done at the end of the day? Anybody ever been guilty of that? You get on Facebook and you just send, and then you wake up tomorrow and you got 50 comments of people calling you stupid, 20 comments of people agreeing with you and saying, yeah, that's right. And then you walk into the same thing. But whose heart rate was up while you were writing that post? Yeah. You think any of your policymakers are sitting on Facebook like, oh, I really got to read this one. No. And this is the reality, right? Now, we have to have a way to get rid of our frustration. And it's okay to be frustrated, but frustration is a sign that you're mixing your buckets, okay? You can only influence what you're not afraid to get close to. Meaning, if none of y'all are going to run for president in the next upcoming election, you need a new strategy. If none of you guys are going to run for director of your program, you need a new strategy. If you're not going to go directly to your director with your grievances and you're just going to talk about your coworkers and complain all the day, then you need a new strategy. You have to be able to close the gap. Okay? This works across every aspect of your life. marriage on the rocks, you got to be able to close the gap. Now, the second thing that she did was what? Does everybody grasp the concept of proximity before I move on? Okay? Yes? Someone explain it to me in your words. How could you use it in your job? As a matter of fact, who come on, let's ask the questions. Come. Yeah, somebody, come on. All right, introduce yourself really quick.
Melissa Balderston, Nevada County Foster Youth Services.
In this thing.
Melissa Balderston, Nevada County Foster Youth Services.
All right, let's say we have talked about proximity. Where in your work can you see you using this to prevent wasting energy?
Well, I work with transition age foster youth, and the message comes along a lot better if I meet them where they're at. I come to them, I pull them into private, but we just sit down and we have a conversation. So we are interacting and we are exchanging a flow that hopefully gets us in a more positive direction.
Now, with that being said, do you find it more influential to get them to do what you would like them to do when you close the proximity, or when you're yelling at them from a distance, or you're in a group setting, or whatever the case may be?
Well, the moment I start yelling at them, or we're in a group setting, they shut down. They go into their trauma. They're triggered. They're not listening. They're in their they're nowhere near their prefrontal cortex. They're in their survival brain. So if I want them to truly learn and listen from me, I've got to meet them where they're at, and I got to make them feel safe, seen, and heard in a way that they are going to really be able to hear me in their prefrontal cortex. And so definitely not where they're going to feel threatened. So
I like that. Thank you so much. I appreciate it for breaking the ice. So speaking of seen, we get to the second thing, which was, what'd she do? You remember? Got down to my level. Eye contact. Eye contact. Second step in the proximity protocol. Let's do an experiment. Sarah, come on down. Come on down, Sarah. I'm going to pick on you. They say the eyes are the windows to the what? Soul. I believe that, right? So if any of you have children, I have an experiment for you, okay? I want you to go home and try to look at your teen in the eye. Just try to look at them and see what they do, okay? Most of them are going to be like, Mom, quit being weird, right? Because we're not used to that. Like, eye contact is a lost art unless we're doing what? Arguing. When we're arguing, you're going to listen to what I have to say. Ha-da-da-da-da, ha-da-da-da-da, ha-da-da. So we're going to do a little exercise on the difference that eye contact makes, okay? So Sarah, just kind of turn your chair here. I want you to tell me about your day, just from the morning till now. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I woke up, got ready, finished packing my bags, went to a hotel to check out, got in my car, drove over here, walked in, took my seat.
My NYC apartment smells so good, and it is because my apartment.
And now I'm sitting down, participating.
Oh yeah, that sounds great. That sounds fantastic. How did you feel about that?
Disrespected.
How many of us do that? Right. Now I heard bits and pieces of it, right? But where was my attention?
On the phone.
Not to the person that's talking to me, right? So let's try this again. Okay, phone down. Tell me about your day again.
So I woke up, brushed my teeth, got my bags ready, went down to the lobby, checked out, drove over here, parked, walked into the class, took my seat, started listening.
That's crazy, right? That's crazy. So this is a tip. If you're ever on the phone and somebody goes, that's crazy, they were not listening at all. They were busy doing something else. So did that feel a little bit different than being on the phone?
Yes.
Yes. What did I do wrong? I was looking at her. I was thinking about the Lakers. I was thinking about, other stuff. Now, could I hear her? Yes. Was my attention directly towards something? No. All right? But still, somewhere else. How many of us do that? Yeah, how many of us are in, we get our students, they're coming in, they're telling us about their day, whatever, and we're just like, oh my God, that's crazy. Right? Right. Okay, let's try this again. Okay? All right, tell me about your day.
So I woke up.
You woke up?
I did.
Okay, cool. Hey, that's a start.
Yes, that's
You
a
know what I'm
start.
saying? All right, what'd you do after you woke up?
I went to brush my teeth.
What kind of toothpaste do you be using?
Colgate.
Colgate. Okay, cool. Cool. I'm a Crest guy, but Colgate works. Colgate works. All right. You got white teeth, so I'll give you that. You've been brushing well. Okay, go ahead. What else?
Got ready.
Oh, how?
Well, fix my hair.
Okay.
did
What'd you
my
do to
makeup.
your,
Oh, I used my curling knife.
Okay, cool. The one in the hotel, or you brought your own?
Brought my own.
Oh, you got the
Brought my
Conair? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. All right,
Hot
for
tools,
sure. All
hot
right.
tools.
Okay, cool.
Then I got ready, did my makeup, changed, finished packing my luggage
Oh, you're leaving today?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Where you going?
to Fresno.
Dope. Oh, okay. Fresno. Okay, cool. Fresno. Yeah.
And then I packed my bags.
It's crazy, man. Like, what did I do wrong? Did that feel different?
Yes.
More engaged? But what did I do wrong? She cannot tell me what she did today because I am constantly interrupting her. So who's in control of this conversation? Me. Does she actually get to tell me about her day? No. How many of us do this? All the time. Right? Now, we have been mistaken to think that's being engaged. That's not being engaged. That's interrupting her. Actually, science says that we cannot go more than 7 seconds without saying something when somebody is talking to us. We can't go more than 7 seconds, right? Now, the eye contact was there, right? And I'm engaging in the conversation, but I'm really not. I'm just taking it over. You see what I'm saying? So now, this is the thing. So I don't know if you all noticed this, but as a speaker, I notice little things. How many times did she have to start all over from square one? Right? I woke up. Oh, you woke up? Yeah, this and that. Okay, cool. I woke up and then I did my makeup. I did my hair. Oh, you got the Conair, this and that. And then she's like, oh, then I did my hair. Her brain is fighting to try to get through this conversation. Okay? Imagine if she had to deal with this 5 days a week with 100 different people. Are you burned out by the end of the day? And you're like, man, for some of us in here, you may have had a great day. Nothing wrong, but for some reason, like, you're exhausted. You know why? Because you had to run to first base 50 times. Let's try this one more time. Tell me about your morning.
Woke up, I got ready, brushed my teeth, finished packing, took my stuff down to the lobby, checked out, got in my car, parked here at the convention, got down, walked to my first class, and I took my seat and I listened.
Huge difference, right? Look at y'all. Huge difference. Eye contact, right? Now, to increase the conversation, actually, Google Like if you ever use ChatGPT or Gemini, they do a great job with keeping the conversation going, right? Like you can learn from that. So now she said, I sat down and listened. Now I can carry on the conversation. What so far has been eye-opening to you?
The discussion about proximity and closing that gap with not just students, but with staff members, admin.
You see how her body language is, I have the sense of completion? She's not fighting for attention. She's not fighting for words to get in, things like that. And this all happens because of what? Eye contact. Right? Now, in the proximity protocol, eye contact has levels. All right? Let's try this one more time. Tell me about your day.
I woke up.
Do you want to do that while you're, go ahead, keep going. Right? Now, let's say we're arguing, okay? Me and Sarah, we're a couple, okay? And we're arguing, right? And she's telling me about your day. So I told you I was going to come home at 10. I walked in at 2 in the morning, all right? So
Okay.
that bothers you. Go ahead.
So where were you? Why didn't you get home on time? You said you were going to get here at 10 o'clock. It's already past 10. So?
Now, am I making eye contact? Am I listening? Not at all. Right? Do you see the difference? Okay? Even though I'm making eye contact with her, my eyes are just like, girl, if you don't hurry up. Right? With my body language. So when we're talking about the potential protocol, when we're talking about like stopping burning out, who's wasting the most energy here? Me. Right? Like my heart rate is elevated. Now she may be hot already, right? But I'm like, well, I'm feeling like I'm being attacked. Okay? Now, what was her demeanor? Very calm, cool. Her eye contact was just on me, right? Even though I was huffing and puffing and all that, her eye contact was on me, and she said what she had to say. Now, this is important for y'all to understand because sometimes you get into arguments with people where nothing gets done and both of y'all leave mad. And we have to learn to let the other person be mad. Let them be mad. You know why? Because you can't control that. You feel like it's mission incomplete when your students don't de-escalate. That is not on you. You can't control whether they de-escalate, don't de-escalate, cuss, not cuss. You have zero control over that, only influence, right? And so whenever you're in situations like this, like your eye contact is just a soft gaze because you're looking past the trauma. Now, what she was telling me was, I'm disappointed that you told me something and you didn't follow through. However, you're still my partner. You're still my husband. Like, you're still my wife. And so my eye contact should represent that. I'm not okay with your behavior or what you did, but I see my wife in there. That's why I'm disappointed. When we're talking to students, when we're talking to coworkers, when we're dealing with this job where you're constantly bombarded by problems, we have to see them within the problem. You know that they didn't just wake up because it's Friday and decide I'm gonna be this type of person. We know it, especially if you're dealing with children, we know it was years and years and years of people just missing the mark. And now they just come to your house and now you have to unpack it. Right? Okay? Now, last one, okay? Go ahead. Tell me like you're upset at me for walking in.
Oh, okay. Why did you do that? Why didn't you call me and tell me you were going to be late? Instead of making those faces, why can't you look at me in the eye and tell me why?
How many of us do that? Right? Can't even get a word out. You're already like, you know what I'm saying? Now, can she control that? No. So let's say I keep my antics. Let's figure out what you can do. All right, let's, well, I don't want you to get up. Stay right there, okay? So I'm going to keep doing my antics, and I want you to kind of go through it, and I want you to come up with a plan on what you think you can do to kind of settle this down, okay? Here we go. So go ahead.
Why, instead of making those movements, why don't you sit and calm and breathe, and then get yourself together so you can explain why you did what you did.
I don't want you. I don't want you. I don't want to listen to you. Like, every day I come in here and all you do is, why'd you come home late? I said 10. It's 2 in the morning. That's like 10 minutes late. All right, like, leave it alone. Okay? This and that. What can you do in this moment? You know you can't get to me. You have zero control over what I'm saying, what I'm doing, zero control. What can you do? How can you save your energy?
I would walk away.
That's it. I can't control this behavior. You don't want to talk. Why am I going to sit here? Because now, let's say she doesn't walk away. Let's say she keeps prying and prying and prying and prying and prying. All right, keep going.
Why did you do that? Why did you keep coming late every day of the week?
Here we go.
Every
This
day.
and that, yada, yada, every day. Same old same. You're no different than this. Every man is the same. At the end of the day, how much energy is she wasting? All of it. Most of us in here know when we've lost this battle. But why do we keep going? Because you don't think it's resolved, but it is. No is a complete sentence. Silence is a complete sentence. And the reason why we don't let it go is because you're trying to control somebody else's bucket. Sarah, thank you so much. I really appreciate you for being a good sport. Absolutely. Now, she actually did two things in one, right? The last step that she did is, remember I said she just carried on about her day. She did not fuss. She did not fret. Her energy did not, like my vice principal, her energy did not match mine. She was anchored. And that's the last step, anchored. You have to be anchored in bucket number one. So real quick before we run out of time, life has 3 buckets, okay? Write this down. Life has 3 buckets, or listen to my podcast, one of the two, right? Life has 3 buckets. The first bucket is my choices. My choices. Okay? Actually, let me get one of you brothers down here. Fellas, the 3 of us in here. One of y'all, come down, come here, real quick. So, bucket number 1, my choices. What do you think falls into that bucket? Bucket number 1, my choices. What falls in that bucket?
Things I can control.
Okay, cool. Like what? Bring that up, Jake.
Me waking up this morning.
Okay, cool. Your effort.
My effort, yeah.
Okay, what else?
Me taking the choice and making the choice to get here.
Okay, cool. Your time management. All right. Well, let's say I'm like, I don't like your shoes.
And that is completely okay.
Okay, cool. So my reaction, right? How I react, my actions, how I react, my morals, my values. These are things that I have 100% control over, 100% authority over, okay? Bucket number 2 is others' choices. What falls into that bucket?
Their thoughts.
Their thoughts.
Yeah, their opinions.
Their opinions.
How they feel, and me being able to accept that,
Their reactions,
Yeah.
their actions. Remember, your bucket number 1 is bucket number 2 to everybody else in the world. This is why I say master bucket number 1. Master my choices, because the choices that you make is somebody else's bucket number 2. Okay? So their thoughts, their actions, their reactions, yada, yada. Well, I'm sorry, man. What's your name?
Richmond.
Richmond. We've met before.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool. Richmond, okay, cool. I was like, man, you look familiar. All right. Richmond, how much control, percentage-wise, do I have in your bucket?
0.
0. How much authority do I have in your bucket?
0.
0. I can only influence Richmond. So let's do a little, I'll show you how this works, okay? Let's do a little activity. Let's say Let's say you grabbed the wrong name tag. All right, let's say that's actually really my name tag. It was by accident, so on and so forth. And I say, hey, yo, bro, man, you got my name tag, bro. What the heck? I need that back, man. I gotta be in my session. I'm about to be late, and you wear my name tag. Like, why would you do that? Like, I need it back. Give it to me now. Like, right now, bro. Hurry up. Dang, man, why would you do that, right? Okay.
Complete opposite. I want you to get to your session.
Now, you're such a nice dude, right? Rich is like 6'8". Okay, this dude, like, he could probably eat me. You know what I'm saying? Like, straight up. All right. So, how willing were you to give me this out of the willingness?
Honestly, 100%. Because
Okay.
it seemed like it was something very important to you.
He's such a nice guy.
And, you know, again, I always think if it's important to someone else, it may not be as important to me. Hey, how can I help?
Hey, this dude's a keeper, man. You're a keeper, bro. With normal people, how willing are you to do something for somebody when they talk to you like that? Very little. Now let's try this again, okay? Excuse me, sir. I do not mean to bother you. I think that's my name tag. And this is the Boost Conference. I can't go anywhere without it. Can we just double check and see if that's mine? And if that is, can I have it back?
There's no problem because I know it was an $800 fee to replace it.
Right,
So
for sure.
You are welcome to have this. My apologies. Let me go find mine.
Thank you. How willing are you to help me in this situation?
More than 200%.
Okay,
because of
more than the
conversation.
last time.
More than last time.
Right? Is he obligated to give me that back? No. It doesn't even matter how nice I talk to him, right? Is he obligated? No. Do I have control over whether he gives that back to me or not? No. This is the power of bucket number 2. And this is what I try to tell people. It doesn't matter if you're sweet, kind, if you're menacing, whatever the case may be. He could be like, nah. Good luck paying that $800 and walk off. I cannot control that. At the end of the day, I left my name tag here, correct? That was on me. Accident or not, was that not on me? This is radical responsibility. Once you start going, you know what? I got to eat that. I got to take that L. That's my fault, right? Now, a lot of people think radical responsibility is taking blame for everything, and it's not. For instance, if someone backed into your car right here in the parking lot, is that your fault? No. What do you have control over? How you react. Now, if you go, oh, I'm never coming to the Boost Conference again because Richmond backed into my car, is that his fault? Yeah, he backed into your car. But the fact that you're never going to drive again, that's on me. That's an overreaction. The only thing I can do in that situation, can I get your information? Let's exchange insurance information, right? Is he obligated to give me the insurance information? No. He could be like, oh, sorry, skirt. Now, we always have to find a way to get back into bucket number 1. Always. As difficult as it may be. Okay? Bucket number 3 is acts of God, natural disasters. What might be in that bucket?
Hurricane,
yep.
earthquakes that happen.
Earthquakes.
The fires,
Floods. Economy, this and that. Carol, can you control the budget cuts?
Not at all.
Nope. Anybody in here control time, gravity, life, death,
gas prices,
right? No, you can't, okay? So bucket number 3 is uncontrollables. All right, I know I'm running out of time, so I want to give y'all this, okay? Burnout happens. Write this down. Burnout happens when we take bucket number 1 energy to try to solve bucket 3 problems. Hurricanes, earthquakes, COVID, economy, yada, yada, infinite energy. This bucket never empties. Not a drop. Bucket number 1, finite energy. You have enough energy to do your job. You have enough energy to be a partner. You have enough energy to be a mom. Like finite energy. You need to recharge. Right? Hurricanes do not need to recharge. And bucket number 3 could care less about your plans. And that's why we get frustrated. You plan this $100,000 wedding, beachfront property. Oh, it's going to be beautiful. And then El Nino decides to show up. What's up, y'all? I heard you were having a wedding. What would you look like standing out in the middle of the ocean yelling at the storm? Now, can you be upset? Can you be disappointed? Absolutely. And you should be. Can you do anything about it? No. So you have to find a way to get back into bucket number 1. You have to find a way to pivot. Can I get my refund back? Can we do it another day? Can we do it inside? Figure out a way. Bucket number 1. That's the only place you have control. Okay? And the last thing, and I have to rapid fire this because I know I'm already over, right? The last thing is this, and you're going to have to watch the podcast for this, but I call it the core 4. What are we actually protecting? So there's 4, and during my research, there's 4 major areas in your life that you need to protect at all costs, that you need to build your systems of resilience, that you need to filter your life through these 3 buckets in these core areas. Pillar number 1, your spiritual health. This is religion. This is who you are as a person, your morals, your values. This is the things that you have to unlearn. What are some things that your parents taught you, right, that you hold as valuable or morally correct that in 2026 don't matter anymore, right? Like, for instance, I grew up in the 90s. Don't bring no white girl home. You know why? Because back in 1912 and 1840, that was a death sentence. Does that hold weight in 2026? No. So even though that was a household rule, I have to unlearn that. That is in your spiritual core. And a lot of us in this room and outside of these walls have to do a lot more unlearning. That's why we feel like we're back in 1930. Right? This is why we can look at human beings and for some reason just not qualify them as human beings. Right? It's a sickness that's going on in people's heads right now because instead of this morality is more of a cancer. It's a tumor in their brain that stops us from seeing each other. We can live in the same city. Can you think about this? Like racists go to the same basketball games. Which crazy, right? You can put on a Lakers jersey, go to a Lakers game, cheer for your team when they win, and then walk out the parking lot and call somebody the N-word. Wearing LeBron James jersey. You can love Kobe Bryant, but be racist. That's crazy, right? We have to think about those things. So there's a lot of spiritual work that needs to be done, and that's why that's pillar number 1. Pillar number 2 is your financial health. I preached this last time, and I'm going to preach it again. You guys got to pay off your debt. You have to come up with a system to pay off your debt. You have to. You have to. I'm telling you. Please. If you have student loans, dude, it is a trap. My friend just sent me over like her student loan report. She was paying like $500 a month. $280 was going to interest alone. And that it accrues daily. This is how they keep making their, please. Total Money Makeover, Dave Ramsey. Listen to it. The next is your physical health. Got to take care of your physical body. You know what will drain? Nothing will drain your financial pillar faster than an unhealthy body. And guess what this country, guess what it's doing to your physical health? Do we not start? You got to start. You have to build systems to get out of the system. Let's keep them sick. A salad is like $10, but you can get 10 nuggets, 2 double cheeseburgers, fries, and extra sauces for $5. If I have $20 to my name, where am I going? What am I going to eat? Right? Medical insurance. money. Okay, they got us. And if you don't think that there's people who have mastermind geniuses on how to keep us trapped, you're wrong. Disney has scientists and psychologists on payroll to do the research to get us hooked. That's why everything that you look at says natural flavor. What the F is natural flavor? I went to go buy butter and it said natural flavor. Butter is a natural flavor. I want you to really think about these things, okay? And the last one is your mental health. This is where people suffer more because your mental health, in order to have systems in place of resilience, to do all these things, your spiritual health, unlearning, taking these tests, figuring out more about yourself, staying fit, financial, you need self-discipline. You need self-discipline. You have to learn no. You have to learn no. You have to be able to sit in front of your partner, close the gap, make eye contact and say, babe, we're drowning. Our finances are in shambles and I'm freaking out. I don't want to work till I'm 70. We got to come up with a plan. You have to be able to sit in front of your partner or sit in front of you got to be able to tell your boss, no, I cannot stay over 7 more hours. I can't. Now, can you control how she reacts to that? No. And you have to have a plan in place. And this is why I say, like Dave Ramsey, I was at one of his live events, and he said something amazing. He's like, I paid off my debt, and all of a sudden, my boss didn't have that much power over me. Work didn't feel so heavy anymore because there's 2 types of people that have to go to work and people that get to go to work. People that have to be moms and people that get to be moms. I want you all to get to a life where you get to do things, where you don't have to ask permission to go on vacation. Where you don't have to get your self-care, where you don't have to strengthen your mental pillar by taking self-care, by draining your financial pillar because you can't afford it. You see the trap? This is why it's so important to stop wasting energy. Your energy is precious, and start filtering your whole life through these 3 buckets. Ask yourself this question every single time something comes up. Is this a me problem, which I have 100% control over? Is this because of somebody else? Or is this out of my control? And if it's out of my control, put your hands up. It's not letting people off of the hook. That's where we feel, oh, I'm letting this person off the hook because he disrespected me. Richmond disrespects me. And I go, you know what? Take that. You cool, man. I forgive you. Always forgive me. Oh, you a punk, man. You let him push you around. You let him talk to you like that. Guess what? I can't control what he says to me. Even if I slap him in the mouth, which I would never do that because I'm not stupid, right? Even if I slap him in the mouth, is that going to stop him from talking? No. Yell at your coworker, yell at your kids. They're going to continue the same thing. And guess what? You can't control it at all. So only control the things that you can control. Conserve your energy for this core 4. Put systems in place, because the way I'm looking at things, it's going to get a lot worse before it gets a lot better. And if you're not prepared for this ride, you're going to sink. Thank y'all so much for allowing me to be here with you guys. Remember, control your energy, filter life through the 3 buckets, and never forget that life throws curveballs, but even curveballs can be hit for a home run.
Those